And we are live. Welcome back to Takes by Fans. We got a great show for you today. As always, we are live every single day at noon Eastern. If you want to watch live, head over to takesbyfans.com/watch. If you want to watch but not live, head over to our YouTube channel, Takes by Fans. We post all of our shows and clips of the show there on a daily basis. And if you just want to listen, we are on podcasting apps, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio. So, however you want to watch or listen, we've got you covered multiple ways. Alrighty, today's a big old Tuesday, folks. Week 16 in the NFL wrapped up last night with, man, oh man, what a game. Dolphins at the Saints, Monday Night Football, and Ian Brook, welcome to the league. Yeah, man, oh man, they were just baptizing that man over and over and over and over again all throughout the game. And Ian Brook, I mean, man, oh man, this is the sport. You're facing grown men, and sometimes, you know, your grown men and your team aren't as good as the grown men on the other side of the ball, and that's kind of what we saw in the game last night. So, Dolphins get the win. They're in the playoffs, folks, at the 7th seed. How crazy. What a journey. But, you know, we always believed in Tua. We knew Tua could always get it done. We knew this defense could always get it done. And now here they are in the playoffs, and everybody's talking about them. You gotta love it. So today on the show, we're going to be breaking down the game from last night, obviously. We're going to be doing our NBA Daily 10 as well. And then also today, we are going to kind of walk through the last 2 weeks, the next 2 weeks in the NFL, predicting the winners, talking the matchups through, and seeing what we think the final playoff picture is going to look like. Are the Dolphins going to be able to keep that 7th seed? They've got a tough 2 weeks coming up. Doable 2 weeks, but still a tough 2 weeks. Where do we kind of rank them? What can they do? Can they win the Titans game? Can they win the Patriots game? And then we'll see. Can the Chargers get back in the playoffs? Can the Patriots get the number one, the AFC East? Can they overthrow the Bills for that? So we'll walk through the final 2 weeks, select the winner of every game, and see what happens to the playoff picture. So we've got all that today on the show. So let's put 10 minutes on the clock. Get ready for this NBA Daily 10. And we'll see if we can make a little bit of money in the NBA tonight. We made money in the NFL last night. Dolphins -3. And once again, folks, if there's one thing that we do know 100% for certain on the show, it's disrespectful value, folks. We know how to sniff it out. We know what it looks like, and it's glaring, and it's really jarring when we see it, because it's really just an instant reaction of looking at the line and be like, okay, what the hell is Vegas doing? This is disrespect. And that was disrespectful value as heck last night. You know, think whatever you want on Tua, trash, garbage, very, very good, greatest of all time. That's what I think. But you know, whatever you think about Tua, if you looked at that line last night and thought Ian Brook could get it done, +3 points, folks. I mean, take Tua out of the equation. It's Ian Brook, a 4-string quarterback, and not just a 4-string quarterback on, on like on a all-star team, on the Pro Bowl team where it's like Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady and who else is in the NFC that's good? Matthew Stafford and Kyler Murray. It's not like you're the 4th-string on that team. You're the 4th-string quarterback on a team with Taysom Hill and Jameis Winston and Trevor Siemian. It's like, even kind of the number 2 quarterback, you're really not believing that much in because of that kind of depth at the quarterback position. It's overall not the greatest. So y'all took Ian Brook, first time playing in the NFL, +3 points, 4-string quarterbacks against this Dolphins defense, folks. I don't know what to tell you. We told you it was disrespectful value, and at the end of the day, what did they win by? 17, 20-3, final score 23, 17 points. We told y'all it should have been Dolphins -10, and we still would have won by 7 points, folks. But we digress. Alrighty, we got 10 minutes on the clock here, folks. We'll talk about it more when we get to the game, and we'll brag about it when we get to the game, and we'll rub it in the game like we do, folks. Don't worry. Don't worry. It's coming. But here we go. 10 minutes on the clock. Next 10 minutes, uninterrupted basketball talk of what just happened yesterday in the NBA. 10 minutes on the clock, and the 10 minutes start right now. Alrighty, a nice chunk of games on in the NBA last night, so let's start with the first one up. Rockets at the Hornets, and the Hornets get it done, 123-99, so that mini run that the Rockets went on like 2 weeks ago, where they rattled off I think it was like 7 straight games. It was pretty impressive, but we knew it wasn't going to last that long, and now we know that the Rockets are a little bit fraudulent in that department. They are not that 7-win streak team anymore, losing last night by about 30 points. So this Rockets team is still the 15th seed in the Western Conference, the worst seed in the Western Conference, and they're still 4 games out from that 10th seed. They're 2-8 in their last 10, 4-game losing streak. Once again, this is not a real solid, consistent team. So now that we know that, we can move forward, and that definitely makes betting easier. And I don't think Vegas is going to be on kind of like a Rockets hangover where we can get great value betting against them, because Vegas still kind of shows them as a great team. I doubt, I think that window is past, but it does, make it easier for us that we don't really believe in this Rockets team at all. So Hornets get the win, 123-99. For the Hornets last night, LaMelo Ball, 16 points, 7 assists, fantastic. Mason Plumley, 15 points, 9 rebounds, 3 blocks, 2 steals. And I gotta shout out Mason Plumley. In the beginning of the season, we kind of were saying that this is kind of like the worst part of the team, and it's no disrespect to Mason Plumley. He's just not like a tier 1 or tier 2 big, but we gotta shout this man out. Shot 100% last night, a plus 14 on the floor, and he's truly just being as solid as heck here for this Hornets team. And I think I'm going to rise him up into kind of tier 2 big category and kind of the top of the tier 2. So shout out to Mason Plumley, folks. We get Terry Rozier, led the team in scoring, 27 big old points. And then Gordon Hayward at the 3, 10 points, 3 steals, 4 assists, 3 rebounds. Jalen McDaniels adding 16 points in the starting lineup as well. And then we had Kelly Oubre Jr., who once again we love coming off the bench. 18 points, 3 rebounds, shot 50%, 1 of 7 from 3. Not great, but 50% from the field, we'll take that, especially when it's coming with 18 points. Very well done, Kelly Oubre Jr. This Hornets team, where do we got them in the playoff picture? We got the Hornets at the 8th seed, so they're in kind of that play-in tournament limbo stage at the current moment, and they're only about really a half a game back from the 76ers for that 6th seed, where they are guaranteed a playoff spot. So watch out for this Hornets team, in the middle of the season, down the stretch here. There's nothing that great here in the Eastern Conference, kind of depth-wise, so the Hornets should be able to get into the playoffs, and seeing LaMelo in the playoffs, we'll see what he can do. All right, and then for the Rockets last night, Daniel Tice played 21 minutes, and that's the reason why they lose, like we know. But he wasn't starting, so I guess that's the silver lining we're looking for. But Christian Wood at the 5, 16 points, 9 rebounds. That was basically the best production of the night. We had Trevelyan Queen, who actually led the team in scoring with 17 points and 6 rebounds coming off the bench. But there's just really nothing great. I mean, their guards, Armani Brooks, 11 points, 4 assists. Eric Gordon, 16 points, 3 assists. It's like, yeah, those are guards, but they're not, tier 1 or even kind of tier 2 guards. Eric Gordon, I don't know. Is he going to get you? Is he going to get it done, in the playoffs as the starting 2? I don't think so. So Rockets back to losing. Nothing great here. Hornets get the win, 123-99. All right, next game up here is the Bulls at the Hawks, and the Bulls get the win, 130-118 over the Hawks. Great scoring output by both teams, but the Bulls just get it done here. DeMar DeRozan, another 35-point game, 35 points, 10 assists, 5 rebounds. I mean, if we're talking about MVP, folks, I'm giving it to DeMar DeRozan right now, folks. And I know this Bulls team is decently deep. They got that kind of core 4 that we talk about all the time here. But I mean, man, oh man, he's so consistent. And, this Bulls team, Zach LaVine missed some time. LaMelo Ball is, missing some time right here. Or not LaMelo. Lonzo Ball is missing some time right here. Vucevic missed some time as well. But DeMar DeRozan, folks, just so solid out here. Consistent night in, night out. Always kind of available for this Bulls team. So I give that man MVP, MVP consideration, definitely. We get Zach LaVine, 30 points, 9 assists, 4 rebounds. Vucevic, 24 points, 17 rebounds. So the big 3 for this Bulls team was absolutely on point. Once again, no Lonzo Ball, so Kobe White fills in for him. 13 points, no assists. And that was really it. That all got it done. The main 3, folks, 35 points, 24 points, 30 points. I mean, what more do y'all need? Fantastic by this Bulls team. And then for the Hawks last night, Trae Young tried his damnedest, 29 points, 9 assists, a pretty solid night. Didn't shoot efficient, 1 of 6 from 3, 34% on 23 shots, but overall the scoring production pretty solid. Bogdanovich, 20 points on 46% shooting. Clint Capella down low, 8 points, but he had 16 big old boards. And then Cam Reddish with a nice, led the team in scoring, 33 big old points. We will take that. And then Georgie Dang, 12 points off the bench here. I mean, the offense for the Hawks, they put up 118 points. That's real solid offensive production. You kind of, assume you're winning if you're going to put up 118 points in a game. Unfortunately, DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, they got it done a little bit better. So Bulls get the win 130 to 118. All right, then we get the Celtics at the Timberwolves here, and the Timberwolves get the win, 108-103, close game, but the Celtics couldn't pull it out down the stretch here. And the Timberwolves, they didn't have any of their big three, folks. No Karl Anthony Towns, no Anthony Edwards, and no D'Angelo Russell, folks, and they still win the game. I mean, what are we doing here, Celtics? I don't know what to make of the Celtics team, folks. They're not good. Yes, there was no I'm blanking on the man's name. Not Jaylen Brown, the other one, Jason Tatum. No Jason Tatum last night, but, I mean, the Timberwolves, they didn't have any of their big players. So, well done to the Timberwolves for getting it done here. We had Malik Beasley, 15 points, 8 rebounds. Nathan Knight at the 5, replacing Karl Anthony Towns, 20 points, 11 rebounds. That's fantastic. Jaden McDaniels, 17 big old points here. And then off the bench, Jalen Noel, folks, 29 big old points on 6 of 9 from 3 and 55% from the field. I mean, what a performance by him. And then unfortunately for the Celtics, losing against this kind of, B squad for the Timberwolves. Jaylen Brown at the 3, filling in for Jason Tatum, 26 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists. He had a great game. Unfortunately, it is a loss here, which we usually see a lot with Jaylen Brown in the starting lineup. They lose a little bit more than they win here. Robert Williams still playing the 5, 8 points, 11 rebounds. We had Romeo Langford and Peyton Pritchard as their guards. Now, Peyton Pritchard had a very solid game last night, and this is exactly what we've been wanting to see, getting their kind of younger players activated a little bit more and a little bit more active in the overall offense. So Peyton Pritchard gets bumped up to the starting 1, 24 points, 6 assists, 8 rebounds, and a +1 on the floor in a 5-point loss. That's real solid for 44 minutes of Peyton Pritchard, who's just coming into his own here in the NBA. So shout out to Peyton Pritchard, folks. And then Grant Williams with 15 points off the bench. Unfortunately, Celtics come up 5 points short here. They lose to the Timberwolves, and the Celtics team is just a meh team overall. Not dangerous. We don't bet them, and we usually do bet against them, folks. Celtics, 9th seed in the Eastern Conference, 3-7 in their last 10. Nothing great on this team, unfortunate. All right, next game up, Jazz at the Spurs, and the Jazz get it done. They win 110-104. A little bit of a close game here by the Jazz, which isn't the greatest sign by this team, but, you win some close games. Every game is going to be a little competitive because these are, athletes and all that. Any given Sunday in the football term, any given day, I guess, in the NBA since they play every day. But yeah, the depth here for the Jazz going toe-to-toe with the Spurs, a little interesting. But here we go for the Jazz. Mike Conley, 12 points, 4 steals, 2 assists, and 6 rebounds. Pretty solid night. No Donovan Mitchell last night, which probably tells us why the game was a little bit closer than what it was. So Joe Ingles fills in for him at the 2, 17 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds, 4 of 7 from 3, pretty solid. Rudy Gobert, 16 points, 13 rebounds, and then Bojan Bogdanovich, 19 points. Yes, sir, that's what we love to see. Bogdanovich is playing on the same night and both putting up great performances. Bogdanovich, 20 points, Bojan Bogdanovich, 19 points. That's what we love. And then off the bench, Jordan Clarkson led the team in scoring. No surprise there, especially with Donovan Mitchell out. Took the most shots, 21 points. No, not surprising again. And he scored 23 points, 5 assists, and 8 rebounds. Real solid night. A +13 on the floor for Jordan Clarkson. And that was the best plus-minus of the night. And then Hassan Whiteside, we love to see it. 13 points, 8 rebounds in only 19 minutes. Absolutely fantastic. And then for the Spurs, they kept it close, folks. Solid production really throughout kind of the starting lineup and the big bench players. Derek White, 21 points, 8 assists, fantastic. We had Keita Bates Diop, 2 points on 4 shots. That was really the only player that didn't get it done in the starting lineup. Jacob Poeltl, 10 points, 13 rebounds. Doug McDermott, 17 points, 4 rebounds. That's our 10 minutes, but we've still got to keep going here, so let's keep it up. And then Keldon Johnson, 13 points, 7 rebounds. And then the bench, Lonnie Walker, 11 points, 3 assists, 4 rebounds. And Devin Vassell, 13 points, 6 rebounds, enough to make it competitive. Unfortunately, no closer here, no big superstar on the Spurs team to win them the game. But the Jazz get the win 110-104. Alrighty, and then the next game up here is the Grizzlies at the Suns. In the Grizzlies, Ja Morant, what is this, his second, third game back? And he's already hitting, not buzzer beaters, but game winners here. Here we go, 5 seconds left. Grizzlies down 1. Ja Morant says, well, let me do it. He drives to the bucket, lays it in. 0.5 seconds left on the clock, and that is game over. 1 point win for the Grizzlies, 114-113. Against the Suns on the road. Man, oh man, this Grizzlies team is starting to look dangerous here, folks, and that's absolutely fantastic. No Valanciunas, they replaced Valanciunas for Steven Adams, and they're still getting the same production, still winning like they did last season, and still a threat to really take it all this year, folks. Winning without Ja Morant, now winning with Ja Morant back in the lineup, now beating one of the best teams in the NBA, the Suns, on their home court. Watch out for the Grizzlies, folks. 7-3 in their last 10, the 4th seed in the Western Conference. They are 7 games back from that number 1 seed because the Warriors are so gosh dang good and the Suns are so gosh dang good. So it's going to be hard for that Grizzlies team to crack that top 3. And remember, we kind of said this a couple of days ago, the top 3 of the Western Conference is so gosh dang good of Warriors, Suns, and Jazz, and then it's really just everybody else below them. But the Grizzlies may be kind of chipping away of trying to get into that kind of top 3 and evolving that great top 3 in the Western Conference to a great top 4 in the Western Conference. So shout out to the Grizzlies for the win last night. Shout out to Ja Morant for that game winner. So since we're talking about Grizzlies and Ja Morant, let's start with them. Ja Morant led the team in scoring 33 points, 2 steals, 4 assists, 4 rebounds, a plus 15 on the floor, the best plus minus of the Grizzlies last night. Desmond Bane, another great performance as well, 32 points, 6 rebounds. He shot 6 of 11 from 3. And then Steven Adams down low, 13 points, 16 rebounds, a plus 14 on the floor. Going against, who do we got here? No DeAndre Ayton because he was out with COVID, so they have JaVale McGee, but Steven Adams taking it too. Veteran JaVale McGee, you gotta love it. And then Jaren Jackson Jr., 11 points as well. So a lot of the starters were hitting last night for the Grizzlies, and then for the Suns, just unfortunately not having that, A1, Tier 1 DeAndre Ayton, big man down low. Ja Morant can just drive with kind of the Tier 2 bigs for the Suns, and he ends up getting it to fall. So Chris Paul, 13 points, but 13 assists as well. Devin Booker, 30 points, 2 blocks, 2 steals, 4 assists, 2 rebounds. Great. Cameron Johnson in the starting lineup at the 4, 19.7 rebounds. And then McCall Bridges, 10 big old points here. Off the bench, great bench production. Cameron Payne, 15 points. Jalen Smith, 15 points, 9 rebounds. So well done to the bench of the Suns. Missing Jay Crowder, missing DeAndre Ayton. Cameron Johnson steps up, and they still get 2 great scores off the bench in Jalen Smith and Cameron Payne. So Suns, man, they're still a great team. Just unfortunately, Ja Morant went Grizzly mode and got the win. All right, last 2 games quickly here. Porzingis and the Mavericks get the win over the Blazers. Mavericks win 132-117. Porzingis, 34 points, 5 assists, 9 rebounds. And Dwight Powell, 22 points, 3 rebounds. So the bigs of the Mavericks truly got it done last night over the Blazers. Larry Nance Jr. couldn't really handle his own too much down low in the paint. 12 points, 5 rebounds for Larry Nance Jr. Damian Lillard, 26 points, 5 assists. And then Nasir Little, 20 points and 10 rebounds. But overall, the Blazers, man, they are overstaying their welcome, and we really do wish they would trade Damian Lillard at the trade deadline. Chauncey Billups not really working out too well as a head coach here for the Blazers in his first year head coaching. And the Blazers, man, they just got to blow it up. We'll see if they do it now, if they don't do it, or if they do it next offseason. All right, and then the last game of the night, the Nuts at the Clippers, and the Clippers still without Paul George, so we don't expect them to win. So the Nets do get the win, 124-108. James Harden, 39 points, 15 assists, 8 rebounds. Patty Mills, 18 points on 42% shooting. No Kevin Durant last night, but James Harden and Patty Mills truly took care of business, as well as Nicholas Claxton, who's really starting to get a little bit better out here and still getting kind of the starting lineup. We love it. Nicholas Claxton at the 5, 18 points, 5 rebounds. Just has to be a little bit more beefier. He's a little kind of, little smaller out there, a little kind of skinnier out there. Not a true beefy big, but he's athletic and he can still get it done. A +2 on the floor, still growing and learning, but is getting there. And then we had Blake Griffin, 12 points off the bench, 9 rebounds. I like Blake Griffin coming off the bench, hate him in the starting lineup, so I've got no problem with that production. Nets get the win. And then for the Clippers, Terrence Mann filling in at the 3 for Paul George and did not put up Paul George numbers. 6 points, 2 rebounds on 28% shooting. That's not going to get it done. Marcus Morris led the team in scoring with 24 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds, but then everything else was just lackluster. Eric Bledsoe at the 1, 15 points, 6 assists. Luke Kennard at the 2, 10 points, no assists, 3 rebounds, just nothing great. So as long as there's no Paul George for the Clippers, there's no buyability, bettability for us on the Clippers. So the Nets get the win, 124-108 over the Clippers. Alrighty, let's see if we can make a little bit of money in the NBA tonight here. Lots of games on, so let's see if we can quickly find some great value in the NBA and see if we can win a little bit of money tonight. So here we go. Bucks at the Magic, Bucks -14. Magic +14, Bucks on the road. We're not going to swallow all those points with them. They kind of let us down on Christmas Day. And, this Magic team, maybe they backdoor cover. No great value. We'll stay away from it. All right, then we get the Wizards at the Heat. Wizards +6.5, Heat -6.5. Now, Jimmy Butler is back for the Heat, which is great, and he got it done last game. For the Wizards, we get KCP out. Bradley Beal is a game-time decision. Raul Neto is out. Aaron Holiday is out. Rui Hachimura is a game-time decision, and Thomas Bryant is out. So a little bit of a COVID outbreak there with the Wizards. Now, for the Heat, Kyle Lowry is out. Markieff Morris is out. Bam Adebayo is still out. So still some of their starters are still out here. Yes, they get Jimmy Butler back and the Heat can still win this game, but I'm not swallowing 6.5 with a little bit of a shorthanded starting Heat team. All right, then we get the 76ers at the Raptors. 76ers -6.5, Raptors +6.5 here. This 76ers team just finally kind of got a nice blowout win a couple of nights ago, which, gives us some nice clearance to potentially bet them. The ins and out here for the 76ers, Danny Green is out, Andre Drummond is out, and Shake Milton is out, so some of the kind of B squads. And then for the Raptors, Goran Dragic out, Fred VanVleet out, Pascal Siakam game-time decision. OG Anunoby is still out. Gary Trent Jr. is a game-time decision. Precious is out. Scotty Barnes is out. So lots of players out here for this Raptors team. The 76ers should have their entire starting lineup good to go. Maybe their bench takes a little bit of a hit, but the entire Raptors starting lineup is basically out. So I'm going to take the 76ers -6.5. Dominant Joel Embiid and dominant 76ers like we saw in the first kind of 2-3 weeks of the season kind of showed out in their last meeting. We're going to swallow the 6.5 here. 76ers -6.5, liking the value here. All right, then we get the Cavs at the Pelicans, and oh man, this Cavs team has been on an absolute tear lately. Cavs -5, Pelicans +5, and Cavs -5, folks, sounding pretty good to us. Let's make sure everybody's good to go. For the Cavs, C.D. Osman's out, and Jared Allen is out, man oh man, and Evan Mobley is still out. So those 3 big pieces here. C.D. Osman's really good off the bench, and y'all know we love our big man Jared Allen down low for the Cavs. So we'll stay away from this one. For the Pelicans, Valanciunas is a game-time decision, and Brandon Ingram is a game-time decision, and we know those are kind of their 2 core players, both questionable. We'll stay away from taking this game in total. Then we get the Lakers at the Rockets. Not betting the Lakers since Anthony Davis is still out and Rockets are on the back-to-back. We'll truly stay away from that one. Then we get the Knicks at the Timberwolves. Knicks -3.5. Timberwolves +3.5. A little interesting here. Let's see if everybody's good to go for the Timberwolves. We just saw, everybody was out last night, so we're not going to count it as a true back-to-back for the Timberwolves if the big 3 are good to go. So here we go. Patrick Beverley is a game-time decision. D'Angelo Russell is out. Karl Anthony Towns is out, and Anthony Edwards is out. So we are truly truly staying away from the Timberwolves. But maybe we can get something good here with the Knicks. Let's see if they're all good to go. Derrick Rose is just out, and that's really it. Daniel House is out. Nerlens Noel is out, but they're really not in the starting lineup there. So Kemba Walker's been kind of going crazy. Can he keep it up? We only have to swallow 3.5 here. Timberwolves on the back-to-back. Knicks fresh tonight. I love it. Only have to swallow 3.5. We'll take it. Knicks minus 3.5. Loving that value. All right, now we're cooking. Final 2 games, and we already got 2 games. Let's see if we can pile it on and beef up this parlay, shall we? Here we go. Not push it, but let's see if we can beef it up a little bit. Here we go. Thunder at the Kings. Thunder +5. Kings -5. All right. Nothing really great here by the Thunder. 6-4 in their last 10. Well, actually, I retract that. We have been buying this Thunder team the last 1 or 2 games, and look at this. Y'all are betting this Knicks game up. Now it's -4. Just went up a half a point. Dang, dang, dang. Y'all are loving it. And hey, if I'm telling y'all and y'all are betting it, I can't get mad at y'all. I love y'all for betting it as we're talking about it. So here we go. Back to the Thunder. We are buying them a little bit. Lugan Stort at the 4. We are loving it. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander being absolute clutch as heck. Gotta love that, obviously. So the ins and out here for these players, for these teams. Darius Baisley out. And Alex Puko-Savetsky is still out for the Thunder. So everybody's basically good to go that we've seen for the Thunder over the last couple of games when they've been getting it done, 6-4 in their last 10. And then for the Kings, Davion Mitchell is just still out, so they'll have kind of their full complement of everybody. We'll stay away from this. I do like the Thunder +5. I do kind of like that. Do we risk it for the biscuit tonight? Do we extend our 2-teamer that we're feeling very good about to a 3-teamer that we feel maybe a little less than great about? Thunder +5. I'll leave that up to y'all. We aren't officially going to take it. Oh, and look at this. Something just happened because they just got taken off the board. Man, oh man, what the heck just happened? Let's go over to Twitter for the breaking news. DraftKings just actively took that Thunder game off the board, which kind of tells us there's a big out happening or somebody that they expected out is coming back in. So they take it down so they can fix the line so they don't lose the value. Once again, folks, it's all about value in the betting world, and that's what everybody really needs to understand as, these mobile betting apps start to come, rampant now. You've got to know the value and get the value while you can. If you see the value, lock it in when you can. We can't even bet it anymore because, we kind of did like Thunder +5. No, we don't even know what the hell is going on here. So NBA Fantasy Labs, do they have the inside information? Let's see. They haven't tweeted in an hour, so it's not that. So I don't know what the hell happened here in the Thunder game, but they took it off. Here we go. This is it. Thank you, Woj. Woj is breaking it for us. Classic. Here we go. OKC Thunder rookie Josh Giddey has entered COVID protocols according to the league portal. So that's what it is. Josh Giddey out, and they got to take down the game so they can reflect the line. Maybe we'll see a couple of more outs here because it is COVID. Maybe it's spread to the Thunder, and that's why the game is taken off the board. Unfortunate there, which I guess is good for us because I did really want to take that Thunder +5. Didn't want to take it because we've got 2 other great ones on the board already. Unfortunate. But now the decision is made for us, so I guess that makes it a little bit easier. All right, and then the last game of the night, Nuggets at the Warriors. Interesting game here. There's no viability in this Nuggets team, folks. Remember, Aaron Gordon is a game-time decision for the Nuggets, and then for the Warriors, we got Andre Iguodala, game-time decision. Draymond Green is out, Jordan Poole is still out, and James Wiseman is still out. So can Steph Curry get it done himself again? Probably. 7 is a little bit too much for me with no kind of supporting cast for Steph Curry. So we'll stay away from betting this one. Got 2 great ones on the board. We're not going to push it today. 76ers -6.5, Knicks -4. Loving both of those values. The parlay odds are at +272. Bet 100, win 272, and your 100 back. Roll that 100 into tomorrow's action, or maybe even roll it all, folks. I'll let y'all decide what y'all do with your money. But loving the value here tonight, and we got a nice 2-teamer working. Alrighty, that is all the NBA that we needed to cover for today. So now let's shift gears to the NFL and start breaking down that glorious Monday Night Football game from last night. So here we go. Dolphins at the Saints with the playoff positioning on the line, and the Dolphins claim that playoff spot and get the win 20-3. Now, I don't want to say I caused the Dolphins to win this game, but we did do a little bit of good luck for the Dolphins last night. We put the the canvas back up on the wall for the show. We had our Dolphins hoodie on. We wore all our Dolphins hat during the game. We turned our lights teal during the game last night. So I don't want to say I had a hand in having the Dolphins win, but I didn't not have a hand in having the Dolphins not win the game. Can you follow that logic? I don't know if it makes sense, but it sounded pretty good. So Dolphins get the win 20-3. They cover the 3-point spread. Once again, folks, we knew that was disrespectful value as heck. We told y'all it really should have been Dolphins -10, and they win by 17. So we knew it was great value. We're not trusting a 4-string quarterback against one of the best defenses in the league, folks. Remember, yes, this Dolphins team started 1-7, but this is a totally different Dolphins team. The defense finally is good and consistent and can play an entire full 4 quarters while being good, and this offense has found a way to move the ball. Not that Tua was the issue, but the overall personnel offensively around Tua and these offensive coordinators having no idea how to tailor it to Tua's game. Finally got it all figured out here over the 7-game winning streak over the last 7 weeks here for the Dolphins, and now this is a real legit team, folks. And over the for these last 3 weeks of the season, going back last week, we're trying to put all these teams in kind of these 4 categories: Super Bowl contender, playoff pretender, and then just overall trash. And last night, I'm feeling very confident to put this Dolphins team in actual legit playoff contender. But then I was, kind of thinking about the game last night and watching the game last night, and I was like, you know what? Defense does really win championships. No, what won last season? It wasn't Patrick Mahomes' great offensive work in the Super Bowl. It was the complete opposite. It was the edge rushers of the Bucs making it hard for Patrick Mahomes to be comfortable in the pocket, forcing him to run all over the field and not giving that man any time to throw. The defense wins championships. And folks, did you watch that Dolphins defense last night? It was absolutely immaculate. Ian Brook, his second throw of the game, a pick 6. I mean, we knew from there the game was over, and we didn't even have to worry about the offense. That was what was so great about just enjoying this Dolphins game. We knew the offense would eventually get it done because they always do. But once that kind of pick 6 happened, we knew the defense was just going to take care of business 100%. If it was just the Dolphins defense versus the Saints offense all day last night, the Dolphins win 7-3, folks, because of the pick 6. So, they couldn't even outscore the defense, folks. The Saints. So I am confidently, folks, putting the Dolphins in Super Bowl contender category because the defense is, I would say it, the best defense in the league. Right now, this is the best defense in the league here, and I'm loving what Brian Flores is doing, folks. And we've never wavered on Brian Flores. We just don't like defensive-minded coaches at the head coaching position, but we love Brian Flores, folks. Absolutely. The man gets it done. He loves the defense. The only one knock I have on Brian Flores is that it does kind of seem like the offense is an afterthought, and that was definitely highlighted in the beginning of the season. The defense was always solid. It's been ramped up now, and it's really this defense for the Dolphins is really the defense from last season of the Dolphins, which was so good. Just took, basically half the season to get back. Hopefully we can clean that up, and expedite it for next year. But it does seem like that Brian Flores, with defensive-minded head coaches, the offense is the afterthought. And really, you do kind of want offensive-minded head coaches at the head coaching position because you need points to win games, and you want the weapons, you want to spend all the money on the offense. Right now, all the money for the Dolphins is in the defense, and once again, defensive minded head coach, all the money's to the defense. There are obviously exceptions to the rule. Bill Belichick, Tom Brady, they're the exception to the rule, folks. Please don't come at me. But Andy Reid, Sean Payton, even John Harbaugh gets it done. These are coaches that obviously have made a name for themselves in the league, and they are kind of more offensive-minded head coaches, obviously. But Brian Flores, give the man credit. That defense, and I love it. It's not even really disguising the blitz. It's just showing, hey, we're gonna rush 8, but we're gonna drop some people back, and you're not gonna know which people are dropping back in coverage. And honestly, I think that is the perfect way to run a defense. That's how I would run a defense if I was a defensive coordinator in the NFL. I don't care if I'm showing, cover 2. I want to show the blitz. I want to show everybody coming, and then as soon as the ball is snapped, we're dropping back in coverage with 2 or 3 or maybe even 5, and I'm only rushing 3, or maybe I'm rushing 7 and only dropping 1 back, but making that quarterback constantly second guess, and for him to just not even really be able to set the protection or really to know where to go with the ball pre-snap, because it's always going to change of who's dropping back in coverage. So the quarterbacks are instantly seeing, all right, well, I got a receiver to the left, a receiver to the right. I've got 8 people, coming at me. I don't know who's dropping back in coverage. So the left wide receiver on the left side of the field who's running kind of a slant route, if the left linebacker is dropping back and I see the pressure coming, so I think that's immediately going to be open. I can't just immediately throw that because the left linebacker might drop back into coverage. And the right receiver, he's on a streak routed. Am I going to have time for that to develop because the blitz coming? Is the right linebacker going to kind of drop back in coverage and kind of cover the shallow comeback route? What's happening here? So I love what this Dolphins defense is because of Brian Flores, and it obviously gets it done. Let's talk about these defensive stats for the Dolphins last night. Obviously, we had the 2 interceptions by Ian Book. There were a couple of fumbles by Alvin Kamara that kind of got overruled a little bit. We'll talk about Alvin Kamara in a second because I did not love what we saw from him body language wise. We'll talk about that when we talk about the Saints in a second, but let's finish up these defensive numbers here for the Dolphins because they were just absolutely fantastic. Jerome Baker, a sack and a half and 2 tackles for losses. Javon Holland, the rookie safety with the half a sack. Xavier Howard, the cornerback with the sack. Emmanuel Ogbah, 2 sacks, a tackle for loss. Zach Sealer, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss. Andrew Van Ginkel, a tackle for loss. The tip ball that resulted into the pick 6 on his second throw of his career. We had Brandon Jones, a sack, a tackle for loss. Christian Wilkins, a half a sack. And Raquan Davis, a half a sack as well. I mean, they were all over this man, Ian Book. And that's why, he definitely had, 20 welcome to the league moments last night. And I'm sure Ian Book is like, all right, Trevor Siemian, Taysom Hill, y'all can take the job back. I'm good, y'all. Sean Payton, I'm good. Thank you for the opportunity, but I'm good. I'm good for the rest of the year. Please trade me because I don't even want to be a part of this organization anymore because I'm having PTSD flashbacks for my entire life. So a little unfortunate by Ian Book last night. But back to this. Because of the Dolphins defense, folks, we are putting this Dolphins team in Super Bowl contender category. The other teams in this category are Rams, Eagles, Colts, and the Chiefs, folks. I think the Dolphins belong up there. I think this Dolphins defense can lock up all of these other Super Bowl teams. Super Bowl contender teams, and I believe the offense can get it done. They play great game managing, just kind of football all together. They don't really let Tua let it loose, and I think that is a not great thing to do. We'll watch some of these throws by Tua in a minute here after we're done kind of going over the stats here, but overall, Tua looks good, and as soon as he makes a mistake, and this is kind of the one knock that we do have on Tua, he makes like one boneheaded mistake every game that does really mostly result into a turnover, and that's exactly what we got last night as well. Tua goes deep when you had Jalen Waddle a little less not deep down the field, but he takes the deep shot and it turns into an interception, so that wasn't good. But then after that interception, folks, it's the next drive, it's a touchdown, and that's really what we see all the time by Tua. He throws a pick and then he's right back down making up for it with the touchdown on the next drive, or maybe the second next drive after the interception, but he always comes through in the clutch, and that's something that people don't talk about when they talk about Tua, folks. Winning matters so much in this league, folks. Winning cures everything. Winning fixes everything. And, these quarterbacks that don't win, y'all just gush over and gush over and gush over. When was the last thing that you've heard somebody say something bad about Trevor Lawrence? And that man has been absolutely awful this entire year. Now, yes, he's a rookie, but at some point, you've got to get it done. We talk about this all the time. Not getting it done on third down, and then just the unclutchability of not getting it done right on the goal line when you have a chance to beat the Jets for your third win of the season. Not getting it done. Tua wins games, folks. You got to give him credit for that. And it just seemed like when I was watching the game last night, I usually try not to kind of listen too much to the game. I don't think, in my opinion, that the announcers, especially on ESPN, because they've got some of the worst announcers, and that's no disrespect to them, but compared to like all the other announcers of Tony Romo on CBS, Joe Buck and Troy Aikman on Fox, it's just absolutely fantastic. Even Chris Collinsworth, I know he's not the most favorite out there, but I think, he does bring, I don't know if it's just the sound, but he does, in my opinion, make it a little entertaining to listen to. But those guys on ESPN, I try not to listen to that broadcast. But I did listen to it last night, and it just seemed like they were so hesitant to kind of say anything good about Tua. He had a great completion percentage in the first half. It was like 13 of 15, and they were talking about we just need him to be more consistent. I'm like, the man is 13 of 15 so far, slinging it around. He's so consistent. His completion percentage is the best in the league. What are y'all talking about? And then when it came to Ian Book, I mean, we've never seen this man ever in the league, and they was like, oh my God, he's so good. He's going to be so good. He's an athlete. He was actively running out of the pocket, getting chased down by a Dolphins linebacker for a 5-yard loss, and all the announcers were like, man, Ian Book is so athletic. He just got a 5-yard sack. What are y'all talking about? And then y'all are disrespecting Tua, saying he's not consistent on the very next breath after Tua's outperforming Ian Book, obviously by miles. I just don't get, and I don't think they're doing it on purpose, folks. I truly don't. I don't think this is like an anti-Tua agenda. I truly think it's just kind of unconsciously, because everybody's just been on Tua so long that's just kind of your natural instinct reaction that Tua's not good, folks. But y'all got to stop listening to the people that say that Tua's not good, because he's fantastic, folks. He's really, really good with the football. Decision making, usually for the most part, is good. Like we said, those one boneheaded plays where he just tries to take a shot, and I think that stems from a little bit of the overall offensive play callers holding him back a little bit. I do think you can sling this ball a little bit more than what they're doing with Tua, but I think they're holding him back. So I think Tua, he's like, all right, I finally get an opportunity. I just want to sling this ball, and then unfortunately, it's double covered down the field. Not the best read, but he tries to fit it in there, and it usually does result into an interception. But then he cleans it up and is great for the rest of the game. So Tua played very well last night. Absolutely loved it. Tua 19 of 26. Let's get that completion percentage good to go. Calculated. 19 of 26. We've got 73% completion percentage. Y'all know I love that. 198 yards, not dinking and dunking. 1 touchdown, 1 pick. That pick, once again, inexcusable, especially when you had Jalen Waddle in the underneath, wide open. That would have gotten you kind of 10, 15 yards and the first down and all that. So the one interception, not good, but then it does result into a touchdown on the very next drive. And once again, the Saints can't do anything with the, great field position starting at their own 36-yard line. Of course they can't do anything. It's Ian Book, folks. So Tua, a pretty solid night overall. And then in the rushing attack, just getting Duke Johnson, and he, got it done last week, and Phillip Lindsay finally back. And they had a pretty solid running back by committee. They were using the Wildcat a little bit, which, I didn't hate. I didn't hate it. I thought it was okay. What I do hate, I'll tell you what I do hate, is bringing Jacoby Brissett on the field on 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1, and then not QB sneaking with them. Folks. This Dolphins team, they do it all the time, folks. It's literally every time it's like 3rd and 1 and they want to use like a quarterback sneak. They take out Tua because he's a little too small to run the QB sneak. Jacoby Brissett a little bit bigger and beefier. So they bring him in expecting the defense to just assume it's going to be a QB sneak. And then the Dolphins on 3rd and 1 with Jacoby Brissett, they run a play action, roll Jacoby Brissett out to the right, everything's rolling to the right, and then it always gets close clobbered and eaten up and they don't convert it because everybody's expecting that because you never actually run the QB sneak with Jacoby Brissett. So please stop bringing Jacoby Brissett out there on short distances like you're gonna QB sneak it. Just QB sneak it with Tua, folks. Just do it. He can do it. Yes, he's not the beefiest, but he is kind of very feisty. The man will fight for it. A little bit too much. Like, I hate Tua running the ball. Tua's not a dual threat quarterback at all in any sense of the word, folks. He's not fast at all. He's not elusive at all, folks. He cannot juke. He thinks he can juke. He does this kind of out in hesitation every time, and that's the same move, and they all learn that because there's big hits on Tua almost every single week. But Tua will, engage. He will kind of, deliver the first hit and try to get all the yards. I hate that about his game, but what am I going to say? Don't be a warrior? I can't criticize Tua for that. I just don't really like it at all. I don't want that man running at all. Literally at all. I don't want that man having even one rushing yard, which he actually had yesterday. One rush for 1 yard. Please don't rush at all. I don't care if it's for 100 yards on one rush. I don't want you running. All right, but in the rushing attack overall, Duke Johnson, 13 rushes, 39 yards. Phillip Lindsay, 13 rushes, 36 yards. Wish we got something a little bit better from Phillip Lindsay. Has some nice muscle runs, and he is a very physical runner, but nothing really broke. And then Myles Gaskin, only 3 rushes for 10 yards last night. All right, Tua, who was he trying to sling the ball to? We had Jalen Waddle, leading receiver, 10 catches for 92 yards and a touchdown, and that Jalen Waddle Tua connection is absolutely immaculate. Obviously, they have history with each other in Alabama. That's definitely kind of expediting this process, and it's looking really great all throughout. Jalen Waddle so reliable and able to get open, and Tua, once again, that accuracy to put it on the money in stride and all that. It was fantastic last night. Then we had Mac Hollins, a great catch, 1 catch for 40 yards. Durham Smythe, 3 catches, 31 yards. Mike Gesicki, 3 catches, 22 yards. We do need Mike Gesicki for this Dolphins team to really win the Super Bowl. I still believe they are Super Bowl contenders, but we are going to need Mike Gesicki back to being great. He was fantastic last season. Really, really gosh dang great the first kind of 4 weeks of this season. But other than that, he's really been mediocre during the kind of win streak, which is kind of crazy to say. So he's got to be a little bit better out there. So overall, offensively, Tua and company gets it done, and definitely the defense was absolutely the greatest thing about the Dolphins last night. All right, and then for the Saints, we get Ian Book. Y'all are ready to talk about this man? Man, oh man. Unfortunate. Is he good? Did anybody check on Ian Book today, folks? Is he good? Because he potentially could have some kind of early onset CTE, honestly. He was just getting absolutely smacked last night. Smacked, folks. If you didn't watch the game, just I'm sure there's defensive highlights, and they're just absolutely, wow. We talk about the Walk of Fame defense. Man, oh man, this Dolphins defense was just crushing this man all night last night. Jeez Louise. But here we go. Ian Book, 12 of 20, folks. Not good. 60%, 135 yards, no touchdowns, 2 picks. And like we said, that second throw of the game, a pick 6. Man, oh man, definitely cannot do that. So Ian Book wasn't looking comfortable, and, how could he? Just getting absolutely obliterated every time he drops back. No time to throw, no time to think, and not having any great wide receivers. I mean, we do like Marquez Callaway, but that's really all they have. Yes, they have Alvin Kamara, but he's like a dual threat, running back. He's not an actual receiver. So Ian Book not having like tier 1 wide receivers to work with, and he's a rookie, 4-string, and this Dolphins defense coming into town with its exotic blitzes, and you don't know who's coming and not. That's tough for the rookie, and we saw it be very tough for the rookie. We see them only put up 3 points. And there was a stat going around. I don't think they converted any third downs last night. 0% on third down, folks. 0% on third down. We talk about Trevor Lawrence being trash on third down, but they usually get like 30% every single game. The Saints got 0 third downs. Do y'all know how crazy that is? No third downs, not moving the ball. Yes, they can pick up first downs, but they did not get any on third down. And they did have third downs, folks. There was a lot of third downs. There was about 10 to 12 of them, and they did not get any. Absolutely not good at all. All right, so Ian Book, disastrous night. And then Alvin Kamara, just that body language, he's got the dark visor. He's wearing a mask and all that. A little bit of a gator, it seemed. And the man's body chemistry and body language and all that just really showed like it was giving up, like he wasn't trying in this game because there was no point in trying because it's Ian Brook and the offense was so lackluster. So Alvin Kamara really not taking it upon himself to be the one to get it done, which we really hate. And I know it's hard. It's so hard for a running back to decide, hey, I'm going to get it done this game. You know, we talk about it all the time with Zeke, you know, going back to last year with no Dak, Zeke never getting it done and being the man, and you know that's why the Cowboys didn't make the playoffs, and that really kind of changed our opinion of Zeke a little bit. Not a whole lot, but still a little bit. Like, you couldn't go beast mode one game, you got paid and all that, you're kind of the face of the franchise a little bit, and now with the Saints, with, you know, not having Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill and Trevor Siemian anymore, Alvin Kamara is the face of the franchise here, and he just didn't step up. And I know it's hard to step it up from the running back position, but only 13 rushes last night. They didn't really stick with it. It's hard to stick with it, you know, big third downs and all that. I get it, but we still, at the end of the day, somebody's got to step it up. There's no excuses for losses, folks. There's really not. Nobody tries to make excuses here. Somebody's got to step up. Somebody's got to get it done. That's what everybody preaches, folks. Coaches preach, you know, next man up mentality, obviously, but just getting it done. Can somebody get it done? I don't care what your stats are looking like. I don't care if you went out and threw 4 interceptions and you have 12% completion percentage. We're down 1 possession. We have a chance to win the game. Go get it done. Somebody step up and get it done. And Alvin Kamara was nowhere near doing that last night. And I'm a little disappointed in him. So Alvin Kamara, 13 rushes, 52 yards. Mark Ingram, 4 rushes, 17 yards. That was really it. Who was Ian Brooks slinging the ball to for his 135 yards? We had Lil Jordan Humphrey, 3 catches for 70 yards. Marquez Callaway, 4 catches, 46 yards. Ethan Wolf, 2 catches, 8 yards. Alvin Kamara, 2 catches, 7 yards. Kenny Stills, 1 catch for 4 yards. So nothing great. Obviously, like we know, they're missing. They don't got anybody. They don't got anybody at the receivers. So y'all still taking Ian Brook plus 3 points. It's so mind-boggling. I just don't get it. I don't get y'all sometimes, folks. I just don't get y'all. And I don't get Vegas a lot of times because what the hell were they thinking? That must have been some insider trading going on with Vegas, being like, hey, take the Dolphins plus 3. Wink! Wink! We're going to set the line at Dolphins plus 3. And then they tell all their friends, wink! Wink! Take it, hammer it, bet it. Which we did last night. So fantastic. And hopefully y'all did too. So Dolphins get the win 20-3. I just wanted to quickly watch some of these Jalen Waddle highlights just quickly here. We got every catch by Jalen Waddle in this highlight package. We'll go through them quickly, but just wanted to keep tabs on these Tua throws because once again, he was very, very accurate as heck with the ball, and that's the greatest thing about Tua is his accuracy. So here we go, gearing up right on the money real early on, 2nd and 6, getting some yards here, making it a 3rd and manageable, which we get right here on 3rd and 2. Tua going back to Jalen Waddle, and then his Jalen Waddle speed to beat that defender to the edge, and he gets the late hit out of bounds, so an extra 15 yards on top of it. A little bit of a screen pass here that goes nowhere. Now we get another 3rd and 7. He's going to go and target Jalen Waddle again, and this was the pass. Tua in the offense overall a little slow out of the gate. First drive didn't result in any points, and I believe this was on the first drive as well, but this throw right here, folks, holy moly, the accuracy once again by Tua. Fits it in a tight window right there to Jalen Waddle for about 10, 12 yards down the field. And once again, it's just a great pinpoint accuracy. Look at that ball. Yes, sir. And then Jalen Waddle, just so great at going and getting the ball. You gotta love how he plays it, folks. Jalen Waddle, a great receiver in this league, and he's only a rookie, folks. Bingo bango right here, fighting for extra yards. Tua puts it right on the money on 2nd and 11, making it 3rd and 1, and here we get it, 3rd and 1 right here. Jalen Waddle, bingo bango, that's way too easy. The speed out of the backfield. Tua just lofts it to him, and that's that 1st down pickup, easy peasy. All right, here we go. Trying to do something right before halftime. Tua, boom, his favorite route, a little bit of an out route on the left sideline. He's left-handed. This is the best throw he makes, and he makes it time and time again. And I'm always so gosh dang impressed because it's so gosh dang good. It's right on the boundary. We're going to get a great look right here, folks. But it's just all the way out to the left, and Tua just absolutely puts it on the money, right on the boundary. Like, you really can't even put this one more out in front or he's gonna be out of bounds, folks. It's just so pinpoint, man. It's just so pinpoint. I can't gush enough over the pinpoint accuracy that we see by Tua on a daily basis, gamely basis. Nice little flea flicker here. Tua's Jalen Waddle's wide open about 20 yards down the field. Great speed, great recognition here by Jalen Waddle, selling it. Once again, everybody doing their job. This is a flea flicker play. It takes time to develop, and Jalen Waddle just kind of jogging across the field, selling it. Once again, everybody does their job. If every individual player does their job on every single play should be a touchdown, and this was it right here. It wasn't a touchdown, but it was very, very well done. Jalen Waddle jogging over the middle of the field, and then once that flea flicker hits, that pass back to Tua hits, he turns on the jets, gets wide open into space, and just brings it all the way down the field. And once again, Tua on the money, accurate in stride for Jalen Waddle for another 5-7 yards right there. Fantastic. And then here we go, Jalen Waddle on the goal line, a nice little flip, misdirection. And this is what I think this Dolphins offense truly needs as they're getting into the playoffs and all that. Obviously they need better receivers, and they can't fix that right now in the middle of the season. They can do that, obviously in the offseason. And, this just refreshed on us, so I guess the highlights are done here. We can move off of it. But, the trick plays, the trickery, the wildcat, I think we're going to start to see a little bit more of this. Not that they don't trust Tua, because they should trust Tua, and if they still don't, I don't know what the hell to tell those offensive coordinators. But I think just the work with the pieces that they have. Jalen Waddle's not a great kind of, vertical receiver. He's not the tallest, but he's very shifty. I don't want to call him a gadget guy, but I mean, slants, crossing routes, quick little kind of 5 yards, let him kind of, take the top off the defense after the catch. That's obviously Jalen Waddle's game. Yes, you have Devonte Parker, but he's not very healthy and consistent. Yes, he's played these last 2 games, but is he going to get injured again? And they just don't have those other great wide receivers to really work the ball down the field consistently with. So expect maybe a little bit more wildcat, a little bit more misdirection, and I think I'm all about it because Tua can then hit you over the top when you're playing the kind of shallow crossing routes and, the screens and all that. You're kind of pressing up a little bit more. Then Tua takes the top off the defense, which we will watch right here. We'll end it right here. Talking about this game on this 140-yard ball to Mac Hollins. Man, oh man. Everyone says Tua doesn't have the biggest arm, and yes, he doesn't have the biggest arm. This is not the biggest arm in the league, but it's big enough, folks. 55, he can throw 55, no problem. So here we go, Tua from his own 5-yard line, slinging the ball down to the 50-yard line, folks. That's 45 yards clean right there, and it's absolutely 100% on the money. Tua looking at it all the way down the field, and man, oh man, look at that great accuracy just to dump it over the shoulder. This is what Tua does, folks. Stop falling in love with the dink and dunk narrative. It's a false narrative. Every narrative in the mainstream about Tua is just not true and overall just false, folks. We prove it wrong every single week, but just watch this, folks. Tua sees it. He's at his own 15-yard line, folks. We know this offensive line isn't the greatest, but he steps it up. He lets it go. He sees single high safety. He can fit this ball way down the field before the safety can come over, and he puts it right on the money. That's Tua, folks. And with the wildcat, everybody pressing up, then you hit him with that. I think this is what I want to see out of the Dolphins offense for the rest of the season. I don't want to see it next year. I want to see them truly start to confidently start believing in Tua 10, 15, yards down the field consistently during the game. Let that man air it out. Let that man find that receiver and put that pinpoint accuracy 10, 15, 20 yards down the field a little bit more consistently. I want that next year, not the receiving core to kind of do that with right now. And with these kind of offensive coordinators still a little kind of, on their tippy toes about calling plays and all that. So I definitely think this Dolphins team can be a Super Bowl contender, folks. We've said that. We put them in that category. Defense is amazing. Tua gets it done last night. Accurate as heck, consistent. And, after that one turnover, he goes almost unstoppable for the rest of the game. So Dolphins get the win 22-3. Alrighty, so that was the game from last night. Now what I want to do here for kind of the remainder of the show here, we'll see how long it takes, see if we can do it, but just to go over the final 2 weeks in the NFL, predicting the winners, talking through the matchups slightly. We're not going to go too in depth, but I want to see what we are going to kind of foresee the final playoff picture be. We know it's crowded as heck. It's really kind of like an 8-team race. Is that right? Is it like an 8-team race for those 3 kind of wild card spots? It's kind of deep here. So one loss truly is going to determine everything for these playoff pictures. There's going to be tons of movement the next 2 weeks, folks, and you've got to close out here. Every team's truly going to have to close out if they want to secure a playoff spot, because everything is just so tight, folks. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 wins. Everybody's lumped in with that, and that's great for the sport. I'm all about it. The more urgency, the more chaos, obviously, in my opinion, the better. That's what we want to see. We want to see the greatest going against the greatest, going against the greatest, going against the greatest, 32 teams. We don't want to see, 5 teams being very good and everybody else just being trash. And, the end of the season's not exciting because, okay, does it matter because everybody's fighting over like the 7th seed, only one spot, 2 teams maybe can get in. That's all. No. It's great right now. And, hopefully it continues to be like this. So much parity in the NFL at the current moment. I don't think there's anything better. So, here we go. Let's quickly recap the playoff picture in both the AFC, and then we will start predicting games for this week. We'll talk about Week 18 as well and see what we think the final playoff spots is going to be, who makes it, who doesn't get in, and how the seeding and the matchups go. And then we will start breaking down the matchups, on tomorrow's show as well, and predicting a Super Bowl winner. I think we can do that this week. We may do that this week. And then, continuing to do that if anything changes next week and all that. So I'll have a little fun over the next 2 weeks to see who's going to be the Super Bowl champion, depending on matchups and all that. So here we go. In the AFC, number 1 seed belongs to the Kansas City Chiefs, folks. We get the Titans at the 2 seed, the Bangles at the 3rd seed, the Bills at the 4th seed, Colts at the 5th seed, Patriots at the 6th seed, and the Dolphins now the 7th seed in the AFC. In the NFC, we've got the Packers at the 1 seed, Cowboys at the 2 seed, Rams at the 3 seed, Bucks at the 4 seed, Eagles at the 7 seed, 49ers at the 6th seed, and Cardinals at the 5th seed. Went a little reverse on the 5th, 6th, and 7th seed. But those are everybody in the playoffs. If your team's in the playoffs right now, congratulations. But don't get too comfortable. I'm not comfortable right now. Yes, the Dolphins are in the playoffs right now, but we've got a little tough 2 weeks here. So let's start talking these matchups here and seeing which teams have maybe a little bit of an easier schedule, a little bit of an easier chance to get in the playoffs, and who's really going to have to bunker and hunker down to try and win their final 2 games to get into the playoffs. So here we go. Week 17 matchups are, here we go, Atlanta and the Bills, and this is a no-brainer, folks. Atlanta is trash, and the Bills are back, folks. Bills get the win over Atlanta this week. And with the win, they move to the 3rd seed, so there's a lot of, there is a chance for the Bills to get a little bit of a better positioning and overall a little bit of an easier opponent because they are a higher seed just naturally. Maybe that obviously doesn't turn true, but just overall boilerplate. Higher seed faces a lower seed, so you get a little bit of an easier opponent. All right, then we get the Giants at the Bears, and 2 bad teams. I can't count on this Giants offense at all. I was pretty impressed with the Bears offense from last week. Matt Nagy kind of closing out the remainder 2 weeks of the season, probably as a coach. Seems like they are going to move off of him next year, but overall, I think he's earned the right to close out the season, given last week, winning with Nick Foles. Pretty solid there. So I'll say Chicago gets the win against the Giants, and with the Chicago Bears just winning, they cannot get into the playoffs just quite yet. Sorry, Bears fans. All right, then we get the Chiefs at the Bangles, and this is going to be a great game. Holy moly, what do we even call this game? The way that Joe Burrow played last week, holy moly, how great was that 525 yards? But this Chiefs defense, folks, it's been absolutely smothering, and we've seen this Bengals team be a little iffy. Yes, they took it to the Ravens, but remember when they faced the Chargers, a couple weeks ago, a little bit of a letdown performance, and I believe they were at home for that game. So I'm going to give the win here to the Chiefs over the Bengals. Bengals still stay the 4 seed. Chiefs are still the number 1 seed. Then we get the Raiders and the Colts in a real easy matchup here for the Colts. This Colts defense is obviously the real deal, legit. And this Raiders team, there's nothing good about it. Derek Carr's not consistent in the back end of the season. He turns the ball over. Easy win for the Colts here. Colts stay the 5th seed with just a win alone. Then we get the Jaguars and the Patriots. Jaguars can't win to save their lives, literally. Trevor Lawrence on the 1-yard line cannot win for his life, folks. Patriots, they come back, they bounce back, they get the win. Patriots stay the 6th seed with just a win alone. Then we get the Bucks at the Jets. That's a no-brainer. Easy win for the Bucks. Bucks move up to the 2nd seed. Now we get the Dolphins and the Titans. This is going to be a really great game here. It should be a close one. But at the end of the day, it's Ryan Tannehill. And what have we seen Ryan Tannehill do ever since Derrick Henry went down? Not able to single-handedly win them the game. Every game is close now. They're not blowing out any teams. And Ryan Tannehill is not getting it done in the clutch. Ian Book just got absolutely obliterated. And Ryan Tannehill, this is going to be a tough defense for him to kind of face, and I'm going to give the win here to the Dolphins on the road against the Titans. And with the win, the Dolphins stay the 7th seed. All right, then we get the Eagles at Washington, folks, and y'all know I love this Eagles team. They're Super Bowl contenders, and Washington, I think, got a little exposed last week. I don't know if Taylor Heineke can kind of come back and get it done after that showing. Eagles claimed the playoff spot last week. I think they love the taste. The offense finally got going. They can get it done again here. I'm gonna choose Washington over I'm gonna choose the Eagles over Washington, and with just the win alone, the Eagles climbed to the 6th seed. So over the last kind of 2 weeks, they went from out of the playoffs to the 7th seed last week, and I think they can get to that 6th seed here this week. We'll see what happens with the 49ers. All right, then the next matchup up, we get the Rams at the Ravens. Now, both teams kind of, need a win here. Obviously, the Rams want to win this game to show and prove, hey, obviously, first and foremost, that they can win out and that they can start beating some of these great teams. They just did it against the Cardinals. This Ravens team is overall pretty solid. I would kind of say a little bit of above average team, so it's still a good opponent for the Rams. And obviously, I'm going to say the Rams win this game. It's just that Ravens offense is super lackluster overall. Who knows what's going on with Lamar Jackson? Is he going to be healthy? And it's starting to seem like a lot of teams are starting to figure out the Ravens defensively, and they are trash defensively as well, missing all their players and letting Joe Burrow throw 500 yards on them. I think Matt Stafford can do a little resemblance of that as well. So I'm going to take the Rams winning this week over the Ravens. Ravens can't get back into the playoffs, unfortunately, this week. We'll see what happens in Week 18. All right, then we get the Broncos at the Chargers, and man, oh man, what's going to happen here? Chargers coming off a very big, embarrassing loss. Who's going to be the quarterback for the Broncos? I'm assuming Teddy Bridgewater should be out of concussion protocol by the week, so that's going to give them their best opportunity to win this game, but we do believe that this Broncos team are playoff pretenders, folks, so we are going to go the Chargers, who we do believe are playoff contenders. Yes, a little bit of a hiccup last week over the Texans. Now, was that them overlooking them? We didn't overlook them because we give Davis Mills his credit, and we're going to watch him tomorrow to really show what he can do. But I'm going to give it to the Chargers here. Chargers win at home, and with the Chargers win, they can't get into the playoffs. Because the Dolphins are winning. The Dolphins have the tiebreaker over the kind of everybody in that kind of 9-8 win bubble with these wins. So Dolphins stay the 7th seed. Chargers, they are needing the Dolphins to lose. Let's quickly change it here to the Tennessee Titans beating the Dolphins, and we do get the Chargers at that 7th seed. So the Chargers can still get in the playoffs this week. They need a win, and they need a Dolphins loss. All right, then we get the Texans at the 49ers. I like the Texans, and I like Davis Mills, and I like what David Culley is doing here for the Texans. I think they're going to be solid next year. Not great. I don't think they're going to be trash. I think they'll be a solid team overall, but I don't think they win back-to-back games here against this 49ers defense, especially on the road. 49ers get the win, and the 49ers retake that 6th seed. Eagles stay the 7th seed here. All right, then we get the Cardinals at the Cowboys. Now, this is going to be a great game as well. Man, oh man. Can this Cardinals team get back on track? I don't know. They've been skidding, and the offense has not been looking good. They desperately need DeAndre Hopkins back, but at the end of the day, it's this Cowboys Walk of Fame defense, folks. Kyler Murray, good luck. This is a true test here for the Cardinals. If they are contenders or pretenders, it's really all going to depend on this game. They must start being competitive against the upper tier teams in the NFC. These last couple of weeks, they have not really been competitive and losing against teams that they need to start beating. We're talking about playoff teams that this Cardinals team cannot beat. So they've got to be competitive against the Cowboys this week. I'm going to choose the Cowboys to win it. And with the Cowboys win, they move up to the 2nd seed, folks, in the NFC. Man, oh man, that's great by them. All right, then in the next matchup, we get the Panthers at the Saints. Two trash teams. You obviously know we're not taking the Panthers, folks. We've made it loud and clear how we feel about this Panthers team. It's absolutely trash. And before I forget, let's put this Panthers team in the trash category. We've been putting this off a little bit too long here. Panthers are grade A trash. I mean, they are the worst of the worst. Should I put them in a different? I'm gonna have to do this, folks. I don't want to do this, but I'm forced to do this. I don't know what more. Maybe this could get it through your minds of never betting the Panthers again, because we're going to create a new category here of absolute dumpster. Like the vodka absolute, this is absolute dumpster, folks. Not the best vodka. I would stay away from drinking this vodka, but y'all love taking the points with the Panthers, so y'all might love this absolute dumpster flavor vodka. Maybe y'all love it. So this Panthers team is absolutely dumpster. They are absolutely trash, and they are in a category of their own of just how awful they are. Absolute dumpster, the Panthers, folks. So obviously we're going to choose the Saints to win this game, and with the Saints winning, it changes nothing. They are not in the playoffs, folks. Did that kind of loss last night truly kick them out? What do we got record-wise here for the Saints? They're currently at 7-8. With the win, they go 8-8, and they need 9 wins for that 7 seed at minimum. So the Saints are going to have to win out, and can they do that? They might be able to win this game against the Panthers. They also need a little bit of help as well. We'll see what happens in Week 18. All right, next game up is the Lions and the Seahawks, and honestly, a little bit of a spoiler overall, since we're talking about matchups this week so far. Maybe, it's a maybe, folks. It's a maybe. If we're getting a lot of points with the Lions, just like we were getting a lot of points with the Texans last week, we may be able to take the Lions. I don't think we're gonna get that great of value, but that's something to keep in the back of our minds as we progress through this week and talk about the Lions and all that. I might kind of like the Lions a little bit, but I'm not sold on that, so don't take that as my word. We're not officially talking about spreads and all that yet, folks. We are just talking at the current moment, so hold off on the Lions and all that, okay? We're still thinking about it. We're still in the thinking stage, breaking down the last week stage. We're not ready to truly start going balls to the wall next week yet, so don't hold me beholden on taking the Lions this week, folks, okay? I'm just pre-talking at the moment, okay? All right, Lions, Seahawks. I'm going to say the Seahawks win because they're at home. They'll get the win, but that doesn't change anything. They are done in the playoffs as well. It's the same thing with the Lions. All right, then we get the Vikings and the Packers, and this is going to be a good game as well. Probably like, the Vikings and the Rams last week. The Packers don't blow anybody out. The Vikings lose close. So another kind of pre-betting spoiler. If y'all have already looked at the lines, okay. But, if you're getting a lot of points with the Vikings, like more than one possession, I take that, folks. I think that's great value. I like the Packers to win, but we know this Vikings team can keep some games close here, like we just saw last week. So Vikings probably missing the playoffs here. They're 7-8. They lose. They go to 7-9, and they need 9 wins to get in the playoffs. I think the Viking season is over this week, folks, unfortunately. And then the last game of the week, the Browns at the Steelers. And we know the Steelers offense is one of the worst offenses in the league. And that reminds me, here we go. We got to put this Steelers team in the trash category. This team is absolutely garbage, folks. They're not absolute dumpster. And we're not going to create a new category for all these differently kind of trash teams. So we're still going to put the Steelers team in the trash category. The offense is so garbage, folks. Big Ben needs to retire now. I would want Big Ben to retire now. Go with a backup quarterback. Maybe I wouldn't go with Mason Rudolph, but they would go with Mason Rudolph. I would go with Mason Rudolph to try, and we know he won't. There's a 0% chance. You get a 0% chance with Big Ben to get into the playoffs and a 0% chance with Mason Rudolph in the playoffs, but I still go with Mason Rudolph just to kind of get Big Ben out of the league so he can't even think about coming back next year because no, we're done. I changed the code to the facility. I hate to do it to Ben, but you're done. Please get out of our locker room. We gave you your courtesy one last year, and you kind of stuck it to us, so you need to leave pronto. Done. After week 17, after week 18, no handshakes, no goodbyes. You're not even riding. And let's see, are the Steelers on the road in week 18? Steelers are on the road in week 18. So you hire your own private jet. I'm sure Big Ben's got the money to do that. You get your own private jet. You're not riding back to us. We'll mail you all your stuff. Please do not step foot in this facility until you are officially declared retired. And, you come back for, photo ops and, ceremonies and all that. That's when you can come back. You're not coming back when you could potentially still maybe play for us. Retire 100%. Get it certified, notified. I want Roger Goodell. I want you to sign your sign your retirement in blood, maybe even cut off a leg to kind of truly commit, like, hey, you're not coming back, and then you can come back into the Steelers facility. Do you understand, Big Ben? Yes? Okay, now we can all move forward. We're choosing the Browns to win this game, obviously, and the Browns can't get into the playoffs either because the Dolphins are blocking them at that 9th win at that 7th seed. So, after week 17, we don't see any changes here in the playoff picture. Everybody that was in the playoffs entering week 17 are still in the playoffs heading into week 18. And I don't think there's any movement. I'm not 100% of what, I know we said it, I'm not 100% of what the playoff picture was like heading into this week 17, but I don't think there's any movement here, and there's definitely no new teams moving in. So, it's going to come down to week 18, folks. If you want to get into the playoffs, let's see who's going to get it done here in week 18. So, here we go. Week 18's matchups. Here we go. Saints at the Falcons. Now, I don't think there's any way for either of these teams to get into the playoffs at this moment, so it doesn't really matter. I'm going to choose the Saints to get it done because usually the Saints play their kind of division opponents really solid, a la Tom Brady. Can't get a win against the Saints as a Buck. How crazy is that? So I think the Saints defense gets it done against the Falcons. Overall, it doesn't really matter. Falcons win, Saints win, it doesn't matter. But we will choose the Saints to win this week 18, final game of the season. And then Matt Ryan goes off and is no longer a Falcon, and we can all celebrate that, I think, a little bit. All right, then we get the Steelers at the Ravens. And once again, this Steelers team is absolute trash. Big Ben needs to retire, and Mason Rudolph should be playing this game. And if Mason Rudolph is playing this game, obviously we're going with the Ravens. Even if Big Ben's playing in this game, obviously we go with the Ravens as well. But the Ravens don't get in the playoffs with just a win alone. Got to have the rest of the week to maybe even potentially get in the playoffs. Not looking good for them. Then we get the Jets at the Bills, and that's an easy win for the Bills. So the Bills lock up the division, and they could potentially get the 2 seed depending on what happens with the Titans. But the Bills will lock up that division and will lock up a 1 through 4 seed here, guaranteed, either the 2 or 3 seed. Alrighty, then we get the Bengals at the Browns, and this is going to be a good one as well. Truly what the Browns are made of. We're going to find out these next 2 weeks. Baker Mayfield, you better be competing like your job is on the line because you are on a contract year and your job is on the line here. But overall, I just cannot buy into Baker Mayfield. The clutch ability has never been there. The consistability has never been there. And even this season, Kevin Stefanski can't get that out of him. I think it's done for Baker. Bengals get the win on the road. And with that win, they lock up that division lead and they claim the 4th seed. All right, then we get the Packers at the Lions. Easy win here for the Packers. They keep that number 1 seed and will be the number 1 seed throughout the playoffs. In the NFC, they'll be the number 1 seed overall, but you don't get home field in the Super Bowl because you're the number 1 overall seed here. But the Packers will once again have the Super Bowl run through Lambeau, and we know what Aaron Rodgers does. He flounders. So this is truly going to be the year for Aaron Rodgers. I'm sick of giving him passes, but I'm giving him a pass because he's so gosh dang good at slinging the ball around. Statistically, and that's what's so hard to talk about, Aaron Rodgers. Watching this man, it's beautiful to watch. But then when you look at his overall stats and his records and his wins and his overall lack of Super Bowl appearances, it's just so frustrating because I'm like, oh, he's so gosh dang good. If football was a one-person sport, just quarterbacking, Aaron Rodgers would absolutely be undisputably the greatest quarterback of all time. Unfortunately, we need to see some wins. There's a Super Bowl to be won. There's a goal at the end of the year, and unfortunately, Aaron Rodgers comes up a little bit short compared to another quarterback that maybe you've heard of, Thomas Edward Brady. But maybe this year is different. So we're still giving Aaron Rodgers the pass that he can get it done. We'll still believe in him full force here, but you've got to get it done, especially at home. And if it's Tom Brady again, if it's Rodgers Brady, NFC Championship, for the love of goodness, for the love of everything holy, Aaron Rodgers, you must make sure you win that game. I don't care what it takes for you to hunker down and just study film after film after film for 900 hours straight. I don't care what it takes. You must win that game against Brady. We'll talk through playoff matchups on tomorrow's show. After we finish up the playoff machine in today's show, we'll talk through the playoffs on how we predicted it. We'll do that tomorrow and see if Aaron Rodgers can win the Super Bowl and get to the Super Bowl. All right, but here we go. Let's keep going here with these Week 18 matchups. We get Titans at the Texans. And once again, I like the Texans, but overall, I think the Titans get it done here. Close division game here to close out the season. Titans get the win. And with the Titans winning, they secure the 2 seed. So the Titans will secure the 2 seed. The Bills will secure the 3 seed. And the Bengals will secure the 4 seed, in our opinion, on how we see these final 2 weeks panning out. Then we get the Colts at the Jags. Easy win for the Colts here. They get the win. They keep that 5th seed. Then we get the Patriots at the Dolphins. And this is where things could get crazy here. Patriots going into Miami. And we've seen Mac Jones kind of get locked up by good defenses. Now, this Patriots defense is a good defense, so it's truly going to come down to the wire here, but I got to just go with the home team at the end of the day. Both defenses will make this a close, low-scoring game, but Tua at home over rookie Mac Jones, that's where I see the edge. I give Miami Dolphins the win, and the Dolphins move up to the 6th seed. Patriots fall down to the 7th seed, and maybe a team can get into the playoffs here. Let's finish off these 2, 4, 6, 8 more meetings. We get the Bears at the Vikings. Nothing really to play for. We'll call it Vikings. We get Washington Giants. Nothing to really play for. We'll call it Washington. They don't get in the playoffs. Then we get the Cowboys and the Eagles. Should be a great matchup here. A real great test for the Eagles heading into the playoffs, but I'm going to give it to the Dallas Cowboys. Now, let's see. Do the Eagles keep that 7th seed with they lost in Week 18? They do so far. A couple more matchups to go, but the Eagles at 9-8 are the 7th seed so far, even losing against the Cowboys, even Washington beating the Giants. Then we get Carolina at the Bucks, and once again, this is absolute garbage, absolute dumpster. We choose the Bucks, and the Bucks get the 2 seed in the NFC. Cowboys get the 3 seed. Then we get the Seahawks at the Cardinals. We give that to the Cardinals. Cardinals stay the 5th seed. We get Chiefs at Broncos. That's a win for the Chiefs. They stay the 1 seed. Even if the Broncos win, they can't get into the playoffs here. Maybe the Chiefs take the week off because they've already locked it all up heading into Week 18. We saw them do that last season. They'll probably do it again. But even the Broncos winning, it doesn't change anything. So we'll still say the Chiefs win. Then we get the 49ers and the Rams, and this is going to be a great matchup as well, but I'm going to give it to the Rams here for the home team. And wow, 49ers better hope they win, because with the 49ers losing in Week 18 to the Rams, the 49ers fall out of the playoffs, and the Saints get the 7th seed. Eagles move up to the 6th seed. There's still hope for the Saints this season, folks, to get into the playoffs. Last matchup, Chargers at the Raiders. I give it to the Chargers, and the Chargers, even with the Patriots losing, don't get into the playoffs. Let's see what happens if the Dolphins lose Week 18. The Chargers win Week 18. The Dolphins fall out of the playoffs, and the Chargers get in. So this is a must-win final 2 weeks for the Dolphins if the Chargers win out. So how we predict the playoff picture to look at the end of the season. In the AFC, Chiefs 1 seed, Titans 2 seed, Bills 3 seed, Bengals 4 seed, Colts 5th seed, Dolphins 6th seed, and the Patriots are the 7th seed. In the NFC, we get Packers the 1 seed, Cowboys the 2 seed, Rams the 3 seed, Bucks the 4 seed, Cardinals the 5th seed, Eagles the 6th seed, which I absolutely love, and the Saints actually get in at the 7th seed. Now, it could change because the Rams would have already locked up division lead heading into Week 18. So if the Rams rest everybody in the 49ers, easy peasy game, they can move up to this, they can, secure their 6th seed. But also the Rams could move up to the 3rd seed, so a little bit of a better opponent. And if we're just going on, who, we predicted the matchups to be, if the Rams lost this game, the Rams would face the Cardinals round 1. If the Rams beat the 49ers, then the Rams face the Eagles game 1 in the playoffs. Who would you rather face, the Eagles or the Cardinals? I like the Eagles, but I want to face them over the Cardinals because they still got that kind of explosibility in Arizona, and we still saw what they did kind of the first 10 weeks of the season, which was real gosh dang good. So Rams may be playing Week 18 even if they've already wrapped up the division lead because they can get a better playoff matchup. So that's how we see the playoffs looking. We'll play around with this a little bit more on tomorrow's show when we have a little bit more time. We got to get out of here. And we will also predict the matchups here, going through the playoffs picture, going through the matchups, and going all the way to the Super Bowl of who we believe the Super Bowl will be based on what we see. We'll also re-update it after Week 17, after all those matchups have been played, and we'll do that same thing on Week 18. So that is going to do it for us today, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We are back live tomorrow, noon Eastern, doing it all again here. A little bit of a film study show. We're not going to do a 100% film study. We are going to play around with the playoff predictor again and go through these matchups. But there are a couple of things I do want to watch. Joe Burrow's great performance. Maybe shout out the Cowboys defense. Shout out the Dolphins defense. Get some defenses up in here. So we'll watch a couple of film studies, and we'll do playoff walk through, and we will do our NBA Daily 10, and anything else that comes up we will talk about. So make a little bit of money tonight in the NBA one final time. Our favorite picks are 76ers minus 6.5, and look at y'all are betting this up. Damn. Now Knicks minus 4.5. We've lost an entire point value, folks. How unfortunate. Alrighty, we're back live tomorrow noon Eastern, folks. Have a great one. We will see